Okay, everyone, welcome to an episode of On the Wrist from Off the Cuff. Today I have another epic strap pairing for you guys from Seiko and Artem. Both are channel favorites here. This is actually my new Seiko Prospex Speedtimer SRQ055, and it's a real gem. And I'm sure a lot of you, without me saying or noticing, there's quite a similarity to something like this in its monochromatic layout. And something like an Omega Speedmaster, Speedtimer, Speedmaster. Hey, it all kind of goes hand in hand. And one of my favorite combinations for the Omega Speedmaster Moonwatch is going to be when it's combined with a textile strap. Actually, their OEM hybrid strap that Omega does is pretty tasty in terms of a combo. And I couldn't resist, from trying to recreate something quite similar here with this particular strap combo from Artem. This is their HydroFlex strap, and it is the loopless version of that. So it is really, really outstanding. I've reviewed it on the channel several times. In terms of our Artem, a little bit about them. They're founded out of Adelaide, Australia, and they're the producers of the world's finest sailcloth strap. This is an evolution of that. They still do offer those premium sailcloth straps, but their HydroFlex, again, would be their kind of top tier offering. Now, I think we all know about Seiko here, and they are definitely a bit of a value proposition, especially when you compare them to anybody that can compete. Not just anybody else that's in the market, but anybody that is actually competitive. Now, let's say that again for Artem. No, not the cheapest, in terms of what's on the market, but in terms of what they compete with, when you think about this versus an OEM strap from Blancpain, an OEM strap from Omega, these are actually quite a fair amount cheaper by comparison. So with that said, let's go ahead, zoom the camera out, get this piece in hand, and take a closer look. Okay, so epic strap pairing here, guys. You have this beautiful SRQ055 with a 41.5 millimeter diameter, 15 millimeter thickness, and 49.5 millimeter lug to lug, paired to this Artem HydroFlex loopless watch strap. These go for $248 direct, and then if you want to add this deployant buckle, which is of course in that Omega styling there, and it is finished to an Omega like level as well, these actually go for $87, so altogether $335. And some of you are thinking, $335, whoa, straps for watches shouldn't cost that much. Well, guess what, guys? There are straps that do. There are straps that cost more than that. And if that's not for you, that's cool. Some people are thinking that this Seiko that, costs a couple $1,000 is way too much to pay for a Seiko. And some of you are going to say this is way too much to pay for this strap, and that's fine. Not every watch is for every single person. Neither of these brands have really set out to be the cheapest version of anything. They've wanted to bring value and excellence, and yes, they undercut higher levels of competition, but they can be undercut themselves. It just depends on where you want to draw the line in the sand, right? Some people will say, well, I can appreciate the heritage that Seiko offers. And I think people can say at this point, they can appreciate the reputation of quality in terms of what Artem has been able to offer. I mean, really becoming the default choice within this space. And it's a nice space to be in. I mean, look at that. This looks like sailcloth, but it's actually FKM rubber that has just been finished to such a high detail of finish. It just, again, it looks like a hybrid strap, but it is not. It is actually, it is a bit of a hybrid, I guess, because it's a two-stage FKM. But it is a rubber strap, which is going to mean, that this isn't going to fade. This is going to be heat resistant, all the good stuff, water resistant, of course. And then, of course, you do have a nice little bit of stitching there. You can even get it in contrast stitch if you'd like. But for me, I do enjoy this monochromatic layout. Again, paying a bit of an homage to the Omega Speedmaster on a similar looking strap that costs quite a bit more. To kind of recap there, it'd be like $540 for something comparable to this, if you were to go with the OEM parts, right? So that's pretty crazy in terms of the context. Yes, the Omega, the strap will be about $270 plus another $270 for the deployment buckle. So bring that to about $540. So this at $335, right? The deployment buckle being $87. The strap being $248. It's a deal. It's not for everybody, and you know what? Luxury goods aren't for everybody either. Heritage goods aren't for everybody either, and that's fine. But if you are on the market, I think there's something special to this. So since this is, of course, just a little bit of a strap showcase here, the pairing, when I see a good pairing on Instagram, it gets me going. So I'm hoping that people will see this video. Other fellow SRQ055 Speedtimer owners will see this, and I want to see this on my feed on Instagram. I want to see other people rocking this because I think it just looks fantastic. So let's go ahead and demo how everything comes together here. So we get this going. This goes through, I believe, maybe third hole, maybe fourth, but let's go with the third hole for me. I do have a larger than average 7.5-inch wrist, or about 19 centimeters in circumference, but I like to have a little bit of extra room and play in there just because my wrist is going to expand and whatnot. But check that out. Oof. It's a good looking setup, guys. Good looking setup. Ooh, yes. Well, if I leave my wrist nice and low, of course, if I get my wrist a bit too close to the camera lens, you're gonna see, like, all of a sudden my wrist it's the 3D pop, right? So it's giving you more of that angle to where it's making the center larger and then the sides fall away. So keep my wrist nice and low, and then what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and try to tighten up the frame here so that you guys can get still a detailed look, but just add a bit of a truer aspect ratio as how this may lay on your own wrist. And yeah, it's a full-size chronograph, but the nice thing is there's nothing that's cramped, there's nothing that's crowded, everything is beautifully spaced. Very nice symmetry there. Functional design I really do like. Look at those deep bevels. Just gorgeous. We'll even get a little pusher action going. Of course, column, wheel, and vertical clutch systems enabled on there. You do have that Seiko 8R48 chronograph, which does have a 45-hour power reserve, just short of 2 days, and a 4 hertz sweep, which is nice because a lot of times chronographs will be sneaky and they'll get you a lower beat because you won't really necessarily notice as much because the sweeping seconds hand is typically on a small sub-dial, which again, you can kind of get away with. In this case, you're going to get that nice full 4 hertz sweep, and I think it looks fantastic. Look at the way it lays. Nice organic lines. And I do like the bracelet. I'm a bracelet guy, but this combination, again, the nice thing, it's like with cars, right? You can have a nice car, but anybody can buy a nice car. But, when you put a nice set of rims on that car, right? A nice set of wheels, there's something that it just sends a different message, right? It's just, and this is sending out a little bit of a different message saying, yeah, not only did I have the taste and the keen eye to secure the Speedtimer, because it's a fantastic watch, but also, hey, I spiced it up a little bit. I added that enthusiast touch. And I think that is something that can't be understated here, is adding that little bit of personalization, that little bit of enthusiast touch to a setup that, again, doesn't need it. It doesn't. It has a fantastic bracelet. I know some people, well, Seiko's bracelets. Yeah. If you don't like Seiko's bracelets, then you need something like this. And this is a great option for people that like bracelets, right? The security of a bracelet, right? The way that the clasp closes is very bracelet-like in terms of that experience. And it doesn't feel like an afterthought. It feels like it was made for something like this. So yeah, this is just a great looking pairing. And yeah, I'm happy to bring it to you guys. I do have full reviews, of course, of this speed timer already on the channel if you are interested. And then I also do have a full various features of this particular strap because it's that good, honestly. If you check out my Instagram, I am, of course, I'm admitted it. I'm a bracelet wearer first. That is my preference. But these have really just, taken, they've captivated me. And I can get any strap. I mean, I have a YouTube channel with decent, 19 million views, coming up on 20 million, 60 something thousand at the time of recording. I can get any strap for free. That's the way it is. It's not hard to get straps because, of course, there's less cost to producing them. And there are other options out there. They don't really interest me. This is something that, again, I personally just get a lot of enjoyment from. And this isn't something that's a sponsored ad or anything like that. They didn't pay me. They didn't reach out to me. I reached out to, anytime I see something that interests me from Artem, I reach out to them. And I've been reaching out to them since I first figured out about their products. And yeah, again, they're not selling me on this. I'm selling them on, hey, I have this cool pairing. What do you think? Was that something you'd like to see on my channel? And, if they're down, they're down, and they send something over. And in this case, they did. I've bought straps from them in the past. Sometimes to save on time, if there's some time restraints and I really want to get something out there. I've recommended their stuff personally at watch meetups, and I have no affiliation. I don't get any kickbacks or anything like that from them. But I will say again, I'm a big believer. And yeah, there are a few straps that I really, really enjoy that are out there. And this is one of them. And they're not all super expensive. Some of them are still premium and do cost a good amount. I mean, the genuine Tropics that I really highly recommend as well are not the cheapest Tropic style strap that are out there. And this isn't the cheapest FKM strap. This isn't the cheapest sailcloth style strap. This isn't the cheapest, but that's not what I do. I don't just go around looking for the cheapest of everything. It's not a race to the bottom for me. I do appreciate when a brand goes above and beyond, and they deliver something that is just uniquely excellent, within the price point, within the market, whatever that is. I can appreciate that. So yeah, this is one, again, I choose to wear it on this watch because I really do enjoy, how it wears, how it looks, how it performs. I had to wipe off quite a bit of grit from underneath this case back before starting shooting this because, this is something that I wore today. And while I was out, and I actually was in a U-Haul moving some stuff around from one branch to another branch for the day job. And yeah, it served me well, and I didn't have to worry about possibly, damaging my OEM bracelet. And, you got the quick release spring bars here, which is great. There's 11 different color combinations and stitching. Definitely check the links down in the comments. There's all different sizes: 18 millimeter, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. They even have extra small and extra large lengths in terms of, this is actually in the standard length option, which is on the short end. Here is going to, actually the short end, I don't know which one is technically the short end, but for the shorter end, it's going to be 100 millimeters versus 97 millimeters. So, yeah, that's not too shabby. Everything aligns really beautifully. If you see that there. Yeah, and I've been rambling way too much. This is just a good looking setup. I like to do these videos from time to time, again, to just share once something comes together. And yeah, this feels like having a second watch, just because it's this watch without the bracelet. And that's the only way that it's offered. But that watch now on this strap, it's like a whole new great watch that I can be excited to wear. So we'll go ahead and end it on that. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you like the video, please like, and if you're already, please subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks, guys.